Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Horror Show. Show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
School is in.
Yep.
The Horror Show summer school continues on, and we are entering. What will we call this? I don't even know. Our Patreon subscribers' choices for movies.
Choices.
Man, I could have made this a lot easier. Made this a lot easier. We let our Patreon members, patreon.com/IHateHorror, choose 3 movies, and we were going to pick one to do a full episode on. I imagine that people think that's a pretty neat idea.
Sure.
Or you could just wait long enough and we'll probably do it.
Just hope we do
Actually,
it in
no.
3 years.
Only if you like pieces of shit will we cover it, because that is all we do.
Dude, last week revitalized me.
It was amazing.
Talking about the burning.
The burning. And now we got Pieces suggested by Elliot Yogdog. Should I give him a little Twitter shout out here?
Sure.
That'll be hard because
Yog Saga.
All right, dude. But it's like all
It's zeros.
there's zeros.
Yeah.
Just follow us and follow us.
Give up.
I'm at I Hate Horror Show on Twitter. Just go to it, and I talk to Elliot frequently. So yeah, just check it out. Whatever, you'll find him. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. Gave us a shit movie to watch.
I disagree. So Pieces, I think it got its DVD release in 2007.
Yeah, it's one of those.
And I know this because I own it on DVD. And there was a girl having a party in Enfield, Connecticut, and I wasn't going to go because it was so far away, and I'm just antisocial. And I got one of those flyers, and Media Play was closing all of its stores, so all its DVDs were 75% off. And the first one that was listed on that page was Pieces. I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta go get this. So I drove to Enfield, because that's where the store was, bought the movie on DVD, and then went to the party. Shitty-ass story, huh?
No, it was a good story, I guess. I think I went...
You might have been there.
I think I did end up going to that. It was I was miserable that night, though. Maybe it was like a full moon, if you were miserable, too.
I'm always miserable.
We both just wanted to go watch Pieces. Originally released in Spain in 1982.
Yeah.
Then released in the U.S. in 1983.
Yes.
Do you think this looks better or worse than The Burning, which was made in 1981?
Oh, way worse.
Yeah.
But okay.
I thought this was made in the 70s when I was watching it.
No, it's not even comparable. So I enjoy this movie, and there's a difference. We were talking about this before we started recording, because Sean had made a comment on Twitter that was like, Joe really likes this movie. I'm worried that it might be too good to talk about. And I was like, Sean, of course it's not too good. And just to clear up to everybody, there's a big difference between, not all the time, but sometimes there's a difference between things that I like and things that are good.
Right.
Because I like this. I think it's very fun to watch. Do I think it's a good, well-made movie? Absolutely not.
I mean, honestly, I'm not even quite sure what happens in this. There's a lot of dialogue that I was like, they're mumbling, first of all. Well, it's all ADR.
It's all dubbed over, yes.
So what happened? Because the people are clearly speaking English.
They're speaking English. I think it was just an editing fuck-up.
It's either an editing fuck-up, or I'm kind of under the impression also that because it was released in Spain first, they were like, well, it's a Spanish movie, just don't even record the audio. And we'll just dub it. We have to dub it anyway.
I hope that's the
in Spanish. Case. And then they were like, oh, wait, we still have to release it in America.
That can't possibly be true, but I'm going to go with it.
Oh, shit, we actually have to release this in America, too. Get those actors back in here. I mean, I think that's what gave it its older feel, too. It very much...
Because of the dubbing?
Yeah. It was so bad. I have a real hard time watching movies that have bad ADR like that.
It didn't. Sometimes I do. This one didn't really bug me as much as other ones do.
Have you watched The Editor yet?
No.
By the way, if you hear my glass, I'm drinking a delicious iced coffee in a glass cup like an asshole. You got to check it out.
I know.
I forget about it a lot.
So many good things
I
want to watch.
The editor, though, is dubbed over intentionally to it is a knockoff Argento movie.
Right.
It's like a spoof, but it's actually not satire. I don't know. I'm terrible.
Dude, I saw an interview where somebody involved with Pieces was trying to say it was a spoof. And I was like, nope.
Dude,
it
is
spoof this.
Okay, so there's so much stuff in this where I was like, this would be in a spoof, but they are not spoofing.
They're not spoofing.
They're not spoofing at all.
No.
Okay, just so we're clear.
I do have to give some credit because, well, I guess I don't because The Burning didn't have a big budget and The Burning was really good.
Well, this was like, what, $300,000?
I don't have the budget written down, but it was super low. And I just appreciate it from, I guess, a viewpoint of like somebody that wants, like, is a fan of the genre and just wants to make a movie.
Yeah.
Because there was some coherent parts to it and there were some really, really fun parts.
The underlying story. Okay, so you can just tell, though, that there is a communication. Knowing that this. So I didn't know this guy was Spanish when I was watching it the first time. And then afterwards I found that out. Knowing that afterwards, you can see that there was definitely a language barrier, probably, when he was like explaining what he wanted. Or maybe it's just a cultural thing. I don't know, because it was just not. I'm trying to think about how to word this. The structure is really good. I love the underlying story.
Yes.
The concept is really good. The way it's executed is really bad. That's my biggest problem, I guess.
It's very over the top. And there are some scenes that we'll get to that have no business being in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's crazy. Yeah, budget is $300,000.
Okay, so I even might respect it a little bit more because they did a lot with little.
Yeah, they even doubled their money in the U.S. opening weekend. So
really?
Good for them.
600,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, dude. It made $1 million in Spain. Or no,
it still sucks, but
no, it didn't. It made a lot less in Spain. Spanish people were like, no way. Fuck you. So we open up Boston, 1942. Does not look like 1942, but that's okay. Little boy's in his bedroom playing with a porn puzzle.
Jigsaw puzzle of a naked lady.
It's weird. Mom comes in.
Also, I do have to point out that he's like only 2 pieces away from finishing
and
it.
He's so
having
confused.
such a hard time.
He's so fucking confused. Well, it's literally only one piece, isn't it? Isn't it just?
Is it just one?
It's her crotch.
Doesn't know where to put it.
And he's like, And his mom comes in. She freaks out. She smacks the shit out of him. And she's saying shit like she'll kill him.
Yep.
Just like your dad. Yep. And get a plastic bag. I'm going to burn everything. And kid comes in with an axe.
It's really weird because she comes in and she's smiling, like very endearing. First. Like she's like, "Oh, look at my son playing," and then she just freaks out. Yeah,
turns so fast, and she's like going through all this shit. This kid's got more porn in his room than like I would even know what to do. Also, I don't know if I brought this up on the show, but I'm a big advocate of paper porn.
Sure,
bring it back.
I'm with it.
Make kids work. Make kids work for it. It's so easy just to type in boobies now.
I agree.
Bullshit. We
had talked about it before.
We had to work and hide.
You had to take them out of the slips and put them in like other magazines and pretend to read those ones.
Yes. You had to hide it.
Bury them outside.
Bury them, dude. So much porn in the woods of Cheshire, Connecticut. Not for me.
From me.
But from everybody else. Like I remember if you were walking in the woods, you'd probably find porn. Like it was like a 50-50 shot you find woods or porn if you walk through the woods.
Did I ever tell you about the time I went to a football camp and there was like there was a locker and on the bottom there was a like a loose wooden thing and we opened it and it was just stuffed with porn. And I remember taking out one and I'll never forget this. In big headlines, it said "titty fuck of the year." It was just a dick in between 2 boobs. And my dad came in. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he took that and he's like, "Give this to me." He just took all of them and then brought them right to his truck. And now that I think about it, he probably just went and tugged it. Like he didn't reprimand me or anything. He just took them away.
Well, so there's something to think about. Like, I talk about paper porn in the terms of children. Like, sounds weird. In terms of adolescence, like it's like a thing you worked for. You had to like work hard to like do it. It's nostalgic, right? But like, think about as a parent finding a stash like that. Like, you just stole your kids' stuff.
Yeah.
Like, your dad definitely stole that. Because, like, why wouldn't you? It's a gold mine.
Like, I never thought of that.
It's a fucking gold mine. Like, no internet. Like, of course you're like, oh my God.
Because we were not at our house.
This is amazing.
He could have just thrown it out if he didn't want me to see it. But he took him to his truck.
100 out of 100 dads take it to their truck and are like, oh, I'm going to dispose of this properly.
Just finish all over it.
Oh my God. All right. But this kid's got a lot of paper for
Yeah.
But no dad. Fuck, I'm the worst. Kid comes in with an axe, though, bludgeons his mom. Pretty
Blood
great
everywhere.
scene. The blood was awesome. It's just going fucking everywhere.
Covers the jigsaw puzzle.
Yep.
This is a really good scene.
Yeah.
Really good. Another strong opening.
Strong
And
opening.
somebody's knocking on the door. There's no answer.
That's the dumbest part of the scene. It's like a neighbor or something, and then she gets the police to come in.
Well, I think it was because she'd been knocking for a while.
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm not fine with the police being like, yeah, come on in with us. Let's go look at this crime scene. And then
Yes.
even after they
No, it was
open
1942.
dude, they open the door. It's a fucking bloody crime scene. And they're like...
Wait, doesn't he say something like, it could be an animal. I hope it was an animal.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking animal. Why would you think that?
She fucking axe wound in her head. And this woman is just like standing there like, oh my goodness, how did this happen? Like,
Yeah.
What?
And when the police show up, the kid is sawing his mom's arm off.
Oh my God,
with a handsaw.
that was the best thing ever. That was the greatest thing ever.
And he's still trying to put that last piece of the jigsaw puzzle in.
Yeah, and then the police are like, oh, does he have any family? And she's like, well, his dad's in Europe and his aunt is from around here. I'm like, who is this woman?
Yeah.
She has all the answers to everything.
She would be the number one suspect, by the way.
Yeah, and they open up the closet and the mom's head is in there.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Yeah.
40 years later.
Well, no. They find the kid.
Oh, well, yeah. They find the kid
He's in the closet. Yeah, but he's pretending that the mom was attacked and he doesn't know what happened. Which I thought was pretty sweet.
Oh, I didn't notice
He's like
that.
rocking back and forth. And he's like, Mommy, they killed her. And they're like, oh, shit, somebody killed her.
All right. I'll give a little cred there. That's pretty cool. 40 years later, which is a long time.
Yes.
It's a huge jump.
Yes.
Like, I honestly, when that happened, when I saw that, I was like, so we talking about an old fucking man here killing people? Like, I was just like, what? It's so weird. But we see a gloved... All right, this is when the movie gets so fucking weird. And this is such an Argento... So inspired by Argento. I want to call it a ripoff, but I'll say inspired because I don't think they truly ripped anything off there. But definitely heavily inspired by Argento, the music, everything. And the
bright red blood.
The bright red blood. And these scenes, which are just hands going through shit and music playing. And when it's not Argento, it's just not as good.
Yeah.
There's something Argento does that makes that
Sure.
work. This guy, well, first of all, this guy's wearing rubber gloves over like a black shirt. It just looks stupid. Yeah, and he's going through his shit, and it's like the mom's dress and her shoes and a giant picture of her with a giant red X through her face. And then it just randomly cuts to a girl skateboarding. The most uncoordinated skateboarder ever. She's like,
And
her arms are
Her arms are flailing, and on top of that, she's saying hello while turning her entire body to
Talking to
see
people.
them. She's in the middle of the road.
like just having full conversation, like, "Hey, Johnny," and like cars are going past. So you're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then
This makes no sense.
it's like a cartoon, like when the two people are carrying a fucking
A
mirror.
mirror.
That's what's happening.
Legitimately.
And they walk out in front of her, and then she crashes
into it, and the glass shatters, and then it cuts to the guy having a flashback, but he's not watching this.
No,
He doesn't know this is happening.
no.
So I don't know if there's a correlation between the two, because he's having a flashback to
And nothing
killing his
about
mother.
this ever comes back, right?
No, but apparently that same girl is the same girl from the next scene. I looked it up online because I didn't believe it myself. Because she is totally unscratched, unscathed, and she's laying on the grass reading a book.
Yeah, and then so, and what's the point of that? She survives getting. Well, first of all, why? These two scenes were just so confusing. So, okay, so let's say she survives falling through a mirror. She doesn't. She's dead. She probably cut an artery. But let's say she does, but she's unscathed. Next scene is she's laying in the grass studying.
Yes.
She sees a man with a chainsaw.
In a mask.
And
he starts up the chainsaw.
And she's like, oh, hey.
Well, she's like, are you going to be long? Because I'm trying to study.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I won't be long. And then just cuts off her head in one fell
cuts
swoop.
off her head.
It's fucking awesome.
So she survived the mirror only to get her head cut off. Wait,
and there's so much blood. But dude, that kill is fucking awesome.
That kill is awesome. I loved every kill in this, basically.
Yes.
I was just conflicted with everything else. Yeah. So now this is when things just... I mean, I'm going to keep saying that throughout it. And I'm also going to exaggerate a lot because a lot of these scenes felt so long, especially dialogue.
I didn't think so.
Dude, the dialogue just went on and on. Well, actually, I guess I shouldn't say that. They weren't like, I'm trying to think about it. Like, I didn't feel like it wasn't like when we watched some of these movies where we're like, was this movie 6 hours or an hour and a half? The scenes just seemed too long. And like the pacing was actually okay. Like when it was done, I felt good about it. It was just those scenes. Like I felt like most of the movie was these weird scenes, of mumbling.
I hear you. I didn't dislike it though.
And the weird British dean. All right, so the cops are talking to the dean about this girl, and he kind of mentions like we're trying to keep this out of the public eye.
Yeah.
A girl was just decapitated in your school.
I've written that so many times. Like the dean.
Dude, that's all he cares about. He's like, don't tell the press. A girl was decapitated.
Right. Because there's a scene in the movie where the police are like, we're going to put 2 undercover police officers on the campus. He's like, what? I don't know if I'm okay. People are being murdered on your campus.
It's Drew Barrymore dressed up as a teenager.
But yeah, the cops are talking to the dean. He does not want any help or any press or anything.
No.
He does not care. And then it cuts to like students, and one of the greatest lines in cinematic history is uttered. Did you write that down?
I think so.
The most beautiful thing in the world is smoking pot and fucking on a waterbed.
Yeah. I have the exact line written down.
Yeah, why she say that?
I don't know. Like, they're just talking. Literally, they're not talking very long before she says that.
No.
And somebody's like, did you fuck on a waterbed? And then she says that.
And then the professor walks out, and he's the fucking weirdest dude.
Dude, he's the weirdest, creepiest fuck. Obviously a red herring for the movie.
But don't the girls love him?
Dude, they're so attracted to him. So they're attracted to him in this scene, and I was like, okay.
I thought it might be a joke.
That's what I thought. Okay, so in this scene, they're like, oh, I'd like to get him in the waterbed. And they're like, ooh. And I was like, okay, maybe they're picking on him because this dude is so weird. Fucking weird. Yeah. So fucking weird. But then later on, like a group of girls see him and they're like, oh my God, he's so amazing. He's so dreamy.
Dude, and even then I was like, maybe everybody's fucking with him, but they're not. I think they just want to fuck him.
Yeah. I think that's what we're supposed to believe. Maybe he's like a handsome Spanish man.
He's not. He's so stiff. He's so weird looking.
Dude, he's got the dumbest mustache.
And he always shows like he has no emotional range.
No emotional range. Number 1 dumbest mustache when Michael Jordan had the Hitler mustache. Number 2 dumbest mustache, this guy's mustache.
It sucks.
It's fucking terrible.
And back to his emotional range, he'll always show up at like the scene of the murder and be like, well, what just happened here? And
oh my
somebody
God.
got murdered. Like, oh, shit.
That's weird. But it's so fucking bizarre.
Also, he's always near the murder.
Dude.
And the killer uses a chainsaw. He never hears anything. He's like, I was in the other room. I'm like,
There's one. I mean, that's why it seemed like this was a spoof. Like it really did, but it just isn't. And like, there is a kill scene in this we'll get to where it's in an empty house, chainsaw. Cops show up. This fucking professor walks down the stairs and is like,
that's why I had mine was brother.
Hey, what's going on?
They're like, where were you? Like,
he's like, oh, I was upstairs. And they're like, you didn't fucking hear this? And
girl's screaming and a chainsaw. can hear a chainsaw like half a block away.
When people use chainsaws like at 10 a.m., I'm always just pissed off because I can hear it, but I don't know what house it's coming from, so I can't even address them. It could be a block away and you could hear it. It's
and then it cuts to another red herring immediately after the professor red herring because there is an enormous man who works the grounds.
Dude,
he has to be a professional wrestler in Spain.
I agree. And that guy's definitely Spanish, too. He looks so Spanish.
Oh, my God. I'm thinking of more scenes.
Can I just say one thing? When the secretary goes, the police say it's an inside job. What the fuck does that mean? It's not a bank heist. It's a murder. What? She was. What does that even mean? An inside job. How is it? It's a murder.
Right. I guess she means it was somebody that is involved with the school.
Oh. That's a good guess. It happened on campus.
Right. I'm with you that inside job is not the right term that she should use.
Well, all right. Whatever.
But this guy that they cut to with the chainsaw. Dude,
it's so weird. And he's wearing the same rubber gloves.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
But, dude, doing yard work in rubber gloves would be like the worst thing.
You'd be so sweaty.
Dude, it would be so gross. You'd be so irritated. And then it just randomly cuts from him to two kids fucking in the grass. And the dude's ass is hanging out of his pants.
Yes. And then, it cuts to them to the worst overdubbing in the entire movie because it's just like a group of kids. First of all, this girl's mouth is moving and nothing's coming out, and then everything comes out at once. And the conversation that they're having is so stupid because the girl's telling this girl a story, and she's like, and she's like making uh-oh noises and stuff. Like, what the hell's happening?
Comfortable. Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's a lot of like, holy shit, nothing makes sense at this point. And it just, these really long scenes, and or they seem long, I don't know. So like, there's a library scene coming up right now.
The pool scene?
They just cut to these scenes. Yeah. They just cut to these scenes. So first they cut to the library. Kid throws a piece of paper in the... There's just so much like... I think he was trying to be artistic.
Probably.
Like Argento.
Yeah.
But like it just didn't add up. And you were just like, these are all wasted scenes. Like Argento's...
Well, that scene set up that kid character. Like, because he was like another red herring.
Yeah, he was too, except he's not 40 years old.
Right. But the first girl that we're about to talk to that dies, he was with.
Right.
And he's missing for a period of time, but you find out he's like a playboy, so he was with another girl.
Yeah.
But it sets it up in the library because it sets up him and his friend.
That kid does not look like a playboy, by the
way. No, he does not. What I loved about the swimming pool scene, though, is the girl unchanges from all her clothes, and she's already wearing a bikini, and then she just goes skinny dipping anyway. Why would you change into a bikini if you weren't planning on?
And it's such a long scene.
Yeah,
so long.
But again, the kills in this movie are great because when she finally gets got, it's fucking real good.
So this girl goes in the pool. But this is just like a super long scene. It's in the library. She's with him. She walks away. There's like a scene of him throwing paper in the trash that never, whatever. And then POV of the slowest walk through the library to the fucking pool. Dude, so much of this movie is shot in real time. There's a real time aerobics. There's a real time.
The aerobic scene is, well, we'll get to it.
What's the other? There's like, they do something in real time that I was like, oh my God, this is, I mean, we'll get to it, but damn it, I can't remember what it was, but there's something that they do in real time that I was like, holy shit, I'm watching two people do this right now. And I was just like so furious about it. But yeah, like it's like a POV walk all the way down the library and into the nicest pool room I've ever seen. Just beautiful. Beautiful. And then, but we see, the girl's in the pool skinny dipping, and the killer walks in. He is dressed like the Shadow,
yes,
as we said. Dude looks like a total idiot. and she sees him, right?
Yeah.
You would be scared out of your mind. You would just start screaming immediately for help. You get out of the fucking pool and run. Because he's just walking like under scaffoldings. Giant black hat. black scarf around his neck, covered in black.
You can only buy a hat like that at the fucking asshole store.
Yeah, 100%. And he pulls out the pool skimmer.
Yes. And he seemingly drowns her with the pool skimmer because I'm like, oh, fuck, she's dead. And he pulls her out of the water, and she's not only not dead, but very much awake. Conscious.
Yeah. He just used it to grab her.
Yeah.
It goes around. Dude, all she would have to do is just lower herself into the water and gotten out of the skimmer.
Yeah, because it's not like you can tighten it. Like
No. And do you know how hard it is to, like, move the skimmer down?
Just skim in general?
It's so hard. Like, it's so much resistance. Yeah. You would not be able to, like, keep up with her. All you'd have to do is be like, all right, and drop like 2 inches and then swim away.
Yes.
But instead he skims her out of the water. And then he walks. He has no murder weapon when he walks in. Then he walks over to the window and there's just a chainsaw sitting there. He starts it up and fucking kills her.
Yeah,
and it was awesome.
Yep, hacks her up.
Absolutely awesome.
Puts the body parts into a trash bag.
Well, we see him go into a freezer with him.
Yep.
But then the cops come and there's just body parts everywhere.
Everywhere.
I
don't know if I blinked and missed something, but that behemoth...
dude, it's the funniest thing.
Because this whole sequence doesn't make sense because that behemoth groundskeeper's in there, and he's just... The cops are like running at him because they think he did it, and he's just throwing them, dude, like a cartoon. It's just like throwing them into the pool.
This is why I have to deduct points from this movie because it's just nothing makes sense. So the woman's dead. The groundskeeper walks in and is like, ugh! He comes in through one door, tries to exit another door, opens it. There's just 4 cops there that are like, as he opens it, they're like, ah! And they run in, and he just starts fucking fighting them.
He's just beating the shit out of them, tossing them over his shoulders.
It's so weird.
One of the guys has a 2x4.
And why were they
just hitting him over the back with it?
Why were the cops just waiting at that door? It made no sense. It made no fucking sense.
That scene is so funny.
It's so weird.
But then they don't even arrest him.
No, and then there's
he's a murder suspect.
They should have arrested him.
And he's assaulting them.
I mean, I was under the impression they arrested him until later he just pops out of a door and is just growling.
I thought I thought he was like locked up and like they would be like, well, we got our guy because he's fucking huge. He's a madman.
And he just walked out of the room where a girl was murdered.
Body parts everywhere.
And it's his chainsaw, right?
Yes. But like 2 scenes later, he's just back, just working.
Dude, a few scenes later, he just like pops out of a doorway and he's like, and like people are okay with it. People are like, oh, hey, groundskeeper. And he's like, fucking kids. Oh, okay. It's so stupid.
Yeah, so the cops, I mean, they should have had their man, but they're still trying to figure out who it is. And this is the part where the cops like...
There's like 15 minutes of dialogue here.
Well, yeah, and this is where the cops like, I'm gonna plant an undercover person who's a professional tennis player, but she's gonna be our mole. And the dean's like, I don't know if I can agree to this.
Dude,
you should probably shut down the college at this point.
It is real-time politics. It's real-time politics. That's what it is. There's another scene in this where the cop is like, we need to figure out who did this tonight. And the guy's like, oh, man, I don't know. Like, we're not really staffed that well. He's like talking about like office problems. Like problems I have in my day job's office. He's like, yeah, the staffing's not that great. I really need some more help in the office. Maybe if we could get some money for the office to get some more staff, that would be good. And the guy, like, they have like a 5-minute political conversation about like, well, when we can afford it, we can get some more staff. But can you figure that out tonight? It's like, what the fuck? Why is this scene happening? Yeah. It's the most pointless dialogue. Like,
yeah.
That scene needs to just be, I have somebody undercover. She plays tennis. Be here. It's not a conversation. I don't need to see the rest of it.
Also, she never plays tennis.
I don't need to. Oh, she's not the girl playing tennis?
No, she is.
Oh.
But throughout the rest of the movie, she's never playing tennis, right?
I don't know. I thought she dies like as soon as she starts playing tennis.
No. That's Mary.
Oh.
Isn't it?
I don't know, dude. Dude, I don't know. Because next up is a 15-minute aerobic session.
With the
real-time aerobics.
The worst '80s electronic music you could ever hear. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, of
Guy's
course.
using some robot voice.
It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. And it doesn't help that the cop has like the longest droning, like his voice is like,
So boring.
it's kind of like Shaq's voice where it sounds like a fly buzzing around your ear. It's just like, hey, man. Dude, like I fell asleep.
Yeah.
There's a scene I fell asleep because the cop was talking. I legitimately fell asleep. I woke up and the cop was still talking, and I was like, God damn it. I was so angry. Like 2 minutes had gone by.
So the aerobics is in real time, but there
so
is
the tennis game. Oh, that's what the one. Oh my god, there's a real time tennis game.
Yes.
Oh my god.
The aerobics scene though does set up a really good scene because the killer's following one of the girls who's walking to the bathroom, and I don't know, just the way that he filmed it, like it was almost like the Birdman shot.
Yep.
Like everything's one take.
Yeah,
It was actually kind of suspenseful. And when she gets in, another girl walks out of the bathroom and like startles her. I just thought this scene worked really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It just felt like too long of a build up to these. I mean, the kill scenes are great, and maybe they're great because of the big build up. But I just felt like they went on just a hair too long. Like I don't need to see the full aerobics class.
That is true. You don't need
beginning to end. I don't need to see the full tennis match.
There's a scene we're going to talk about in about 10 minutes that you absolutely don't need to see ever. And I can't wait to talk about it.
I don't remember what it is, but so the cops are now like questioning this kid. What's his name? Do you know his name?
Kendall?
Kendall. Does not look like a Kendall. He's such a loser, this kid.
He's a turd.
He's such a turd. Yeah, so the cops talk to him about the murder, but they're not like questioning him. They're kind of like cozying up to him. They have like really high expectations for this
from
kid.
this kid who should be a suspect because he was
100%.
He was involved with this girl and he was missing for that time period
because no one else saw like the prequel to this. No one else knows that the killer's been around for 40 years. like everyone's a suspect,
right? Everyone should be a suspect, but instead not only are they not viewing him as a suspect, but they're viewing him as a police officer.
Which is crazy.
Because they're giving him like full... Investigations are supposed to be like tight-knit.
Oh, yeah.
So nobody can leak information to who's doing it.
Which, by the way, they keep claiming they're doing because they're like, the dean wants us under lock and key. So let's have the student work with us on it.
And tell them everything.
Kids.
Students are gonna, kids are going to tell other kids everything.
Dude, it is crazy. And how many times do they offer him a job as a cop? Like 100. Like, how would you like to be a cop? He's like, gee golly, me. It's so ridiculous.
It goes back to aerobics again.
Yeah. And I did love though that the press is now asking questions.
Yeah.
The press is getting involved. And they ask one of the police about the murders, and the cops go, it's a college. Rumors like that are always going around. Yeah, rumors of decapitations and
right.
No, just shut the fuck up. And we get a legit tennis game, and we're back to the aerobics girl.
Yes,
it cuts around just way too much for me too. She goes into an elevator.
She's doing aerobics by herself this time. It's odd. But yeah, the killer is breathing heavy and he's watching her through the door.
As usual.
And she goes to the elevator and he enters. I'll let you.
With nothing. He enters empty-handed. I'm going to tell you that. There's no way he was carrying any type of weapon. She said, because you would see it. It's the smallest elevator in the world. And what does she say? She says like going up or whatever.
Yeah. She's also running away from somebody before that.
Oh, yeah. And now a guy dressed as the Shadow enters the elevator. And she's like, going up? Like, yeah,
she
she's
knows
like
someone's watching him.
Yeah, like she could feel something. So she's like running through the hallways and she gets in the elevator, sigh of relief. And then the Shadow enters with his face covered. And she's like,
Although, are we sure he had his face covered at this scene?
Because I thought we saw it.
It did seem like she recognized him. And when you find out who it is later on, it would make sense that she did recognize him and didn't feel like he was a threat.
I'll give that. However, I won't give it that he's like, and just pulls a chainsaw.
Chainsaws are fucking heavy, dude. Especially like 80s chainsaws when they weren't like slimmer.
This chainsaw is fucking huge. Like, I used a small chainsaw on my thing. Maybe you could get away with hiding it. Maybe. That's a huge...
This is an old school chainsaw.
Dude, this thing is like this fucking big. And that's just... I'm talking about the motor.
Right.
Then there's the fucking blade
which
that's
is huge.
2 feet long.
Yeah, it's like a lumberjack's chainsaw. And not only would you see like at least the blade sticking out from behind his back, but it would be so heavy, it would be so obvious that somebody is hiding something behind their back when they're getting on.
And it would probably smell like gasoline.
It would 100% because they're running it for fucking 48 straight hours.
And it's bright yellow. It's the brightest, most yellow chainsaw.
That seems great. Though. Sneaking a chainsaw behind your back onto an elevator.
And the girl not noticing. Oh my god. And the cops, by the way, this is inside of an elevator, inside of a building.
So he turns on the elevator, and this is the most efficient chainsaw of all time.
Yes.
He cuts that head off in the beginning, and in this scene, he's just like, and her arm flies off. Like, it goes right through the bone.
Her entire arm is gone. Just, it like flies up in the air. I actually remember this vividly because it was so absurd. He goes up with the chainsaw. He goes like that, and he swipes up.
Cuts through,
and the arm flies up in the air too. It was just amazing. So crazy. But somehow the cops and a guy outside hear this. Yeah,
it's Kendall.
Oh.
And like the entire building is locked for some reason.
And they can hear them inside the elevator.
Well, rightfully so, because everybody should be hearing this on the entire fucking campus because she's screaming against the chainsaw. So Kendall's like, oh, the doors are locked. I can open it through this window. They waste so much time getting in. Why aren't the cops stationed inside, first of all?
I don't know.
Second of all, when they finally get in, they apparently scare the killer away, who there's no way he would hear them coming. Second of all, the job would have been done. Like, he chopped her fucking arm off.
So, yeah. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
They scare him away, and this is when that disgusting professor comes downstairs. He's like, what's going on here?
And the 2 cops are vomiting from the crime scene.
But she's not even dead.
She's not dead.
She's just missing her.
She
They've seen worse already.
She lives. And the guy that comes downstairs is still just like, meh. They're like, where were you? He's like, I came from upstairs. What the fuck?
They heard the chainsaw from outside.
Yeah.
Also, so this girl doesn't die, and then they carry her out, and the guy's like, yeah, she's dead. The doctor, they set it up that she survived, and they carry her out with the cloth over her face.
Cut to, okay, so I guess I wasn't following who Kendall was at the beginning of this. I started realizing it after this next scene. So I was just reading my notes.
When you see his dick?
Yeah, but also when Kendall's having sex with a girl, mm-hmm. I didn't realize this guy is supposed to be an attractive playboy.
He's fucking
This dude is a nerd. This dude is an ugly nerd. And this woman he's with is going, oh, Kendall, okay. And he like yells at her. He's like, you're being too loud. What do you want everyone to know we're fucking?
But they weren't fucking.
What were they doing?
They were like sleeping.
I know. They're just laying next to each other.
They're just laying there. She like startled him up out of his sleep. She's like yelling his name.
No, I think it was supposed to be like, I think it was supposed to give us the impression of like, they had just
finished.
Oh no, because then all of her dialogue makes no sense if that's the case. Well, anyway, he's pissed at her for screaming about like during whatever they're doing. And he gets so pissed, he gets up and he puts on his pants and he like walks out to his balcony.
It takes forever to put on his pants.
Oh, so
you see his dick for so long. It's in the screen for so long.
And she's going, oh Kendall, I'll control myself if we can do it again. Come back to bed. This girl's so horny for Kendall's dick. She is begging him to have sex with her.
Yes.
That's so weird. That's the weirdest thing. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, I was honestly like, is this a fucking joke? Is this a fucking joke?
Did you notice the Friday the 13th poster behind her? I thought that was pretty sweet.
No, but I noticed... Oh, no. Never mind. That was... I was about to say, did you notice the Evil Dead 2 poster? And then I was like, wait a minute. Where did I see that? And it was Stranger Things. I don't know. Got a lot on my mind.
Wow. I can't exaggerate enough not exaggerate. I can't express enough how long this dude's dick was in your face for, because it was like the center of the screen and it was all you could see. And he's looking out the window before he puts his pants on, and he sees Mary, the tennis instructor, walking down the street. And
dude, I didn't even realize that was the tennis instructor.
The killer is stalking Mary because it cuts to his point of view. Kendall sees Mary walking, and he sees somebody following her. This might be my favorite scene in the movie. Kendall.
This is nuts.
Kendall sees her walking. Mary's walking. I can't even see this up. Mary's walking, and fucking Bruce Lee, this Bruce Lee imitator shows up and starts doing kung fu to her.
Beating the shit out of Mary.
Kicking the shit. Like he literally looks like Bruce Lee. And I think I read online the guy's name was Bruce Lee, but with only one E. Did you see that? He's a Bruce Lee imitator. And he shows up, he starts kicking the shit out of Mary, doing legit kung fu. She's going, Wah! And she kicks him as hard as he can in the nuts. And he like
incapacitates him.
He passes out. And then Kendall shows up on a motorbike. And the guy wakes up. And he's like, what happened? No. She's like, this guy attacked me. He's like, that's my kung fu professor. And he's like, what happened? And the guy's like, I was walking. Next thing I wake up. He's like, must have ate something bad. And everyone just laughs it off and he leaves.
Dude, Mary's even laughing, Mary just got this shit kicked out
he
of her.
mugged her. The guy's acting. He's like legitimately confused.
It is the weirdest. Dude, it was the weirdest thing
Why
I've
is that
ever
in
seen.
the movie?
I have no idea. And by the way, the Bruce Lee guy is just like, all right, see ya, and like runs away. And he says, I was just practicing my kung fu. When something happened, I must have eaten something bad and I fainted.
But that you can't explain that. It's insane. I can't believe that happened in a movie.
Dude, I was laughing so hard. And Mary laughs.
I know.
Mary's like, oh,
they all
just
laugh.
the kung fu professor.
Oh, the professor.
Must have been something I ate.
Listen. I'm out driving, and the next thing I know, I'm on the ground.
Oh my god.
The
kill scenes are kind of cool in this.
The next, I guess, scene, the killer follows that girl from the beginning.
Yeah.
Who says smoking pot and fucking on the waterbed.
We get to watch her shower in real time. Full lather, full shampoo.
Yes. And then he stabs her to death
in the
on the
stomach.
waterbed. Are we talking about a different girl?
Oh, I'm talking about the shower death where he gets in the stomach.
Okay.
Which is dope. I don't remember the waterbed in the waterbed.
Oh, he stabs this girl on a waterbed, but it also pierces the waterbed, and it just like submerges.
Yeah.
Pure blood.
Yeah,
It's
that was
awesome.
cool. That was really good. And the groundskeeper's back, just acting like a prick. Like, dude, if people think you're a murderer, are you gonna act like a dickhead?
He is such a dick because there's music playing over the PA system, and Kendall and Mary show up, and they're like, who's playing this music? Like, they're obviously playing this so we can't hear the chainsaw. And the guy's like, I'm the only one that can control this music. And they're like, well, did you put it on? And he's like, nope. Like, well, then who the fuck put it on?
Yeah.
They're like, we need to go see who put it
He's
on.
like,
He's like, no, nobody's allowed in that room. And like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, you're not like it was so stupid. That was so dumb.
The girl in this scene that the killer finally goes to pees her pants when he's cutting down the door. Do you remember that?
No.
So the killer's chasing this girl, and she shuts the door behind him. It's a wooden door, and he sticks the chainsaw through, obviously, because it's a wooden door, and she's like leaning against it, and it shows her, and she pees her pants. And I read online that actress really pissed her pants because they didn't tell her the chainsaw would be that big and that close to her.
No,
she was literally so scared that she pissed her pants, and they just kept it in the movie.
I feel like that's unethical to do. I feel like you're like, oh shit, I'll toss that.
Yeah. And then he cuts her in half.
This is the best kill of all time, and it's the best corpse find of all time.
Yes.
So he cuts her in half. Looks phenomenal. Looks absolutely
great.
phenomenal. Kendall walks in and fucking, it's a half a torso in the shower.
Yeah.
It's
just her upper half.
It's amazing.
Yep.
Just, she is cut up. She is just deader than a doornail. It's so awesome. and he goes out and tells Mary, the tennis instructor, and she goes in and to verify that she's dead. She walks back out, and he goes, "You see it?" And she freaks out. She goes,
yeah. "Bastard!"
She screams "bastard" 3 times. Bastard! It was like again, it looks like a spoof. Bastard!
Like a scary movie where he's like, "What are you waiting for?"
Dude, it was 100% that. It's not a spoof, though.
No. Then, for some reason, Kendall, like, they just found this cut in half torso, and Kendall is going to investigate the rest of the faculty.
This is like 100% when the cops are like, "All right, Kendall, we need your help."
Why would they not just call in more police officers?
Like,
That need to investigate everybody on this campus. They call in a kid and they're like, "We need you to look up all the faculty members of this school."
It's so weird. He's like doing research with the cops.
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird. I kind of want to say like this kid might not be an actor. It might be like the son of some prince or something. That was like, put me in a movie.
It's possible, I guess.
Because this character makes no sense. It's just like, oh, he's this well-hung playboy, but he's also just a student. But then the cops love him a lot, so they want to make him a cop, and he solves the crime. Like, what?
It is ridiculous.
It's absurd. This character makes no sense.
So Mary ends up going to the dean's house.
Yeah.
Was there something you want to say before that?
No.
He's having the most boring conversation of all time with her.
Dude, it is so long and so boring. Again, real-time coffee.
Also, he slipped something in her drink.
Yeah.
But he's doing it in front of her.
Yeah. She's like, we're hearing their coffee orders in real time. She's like, "Oh, I'll have it with a little cream and a little saccharin." "Oh, the saccharin. Oh, you try to watch your figure? Oh, yeah, okay, all right." And we watch him make the fucking coffee in real time, and you're like, dude, I fell asleep during this scene. Woke up, they were still having coffee. They were still drinking
My wife
coffee.
made a comment about this scene being very long, too.
Just so long. And it was just a coffee.
Yeah.
Just having coffee together. Cut to the cops.
Yes. They realize that
the dean is the killer. It is the worst reveal I have ever seen in a movie ever. The cop gets a phone call. He takes the call. And it's basically like that joke, like, you don't say. He didn't say. Because the cop's just doing shit like, "Oh, that's great. Okay. And he goes, "I owe you a case of lollipops." Hangs up. They're like, "What was that?" And he's like, "The dean's the killer." And then he's like, turns out he chopped up his mother and it somehow affected him. That's what he says. It affected him somehow. That's what he said. What's so funny? It's so insane. It's the dean. Turns out he chopped up his mother and it affected him somehow.
You're just calmly answering that phone call. By the way,
and calmly hanging up and like not even being like,
hey guys, holy shit. He has to wait for someone to ask him.
Yeah, like, "Hey, what was that?" "Oh, the dean, he's killer." And then they're like, "Oh my god, it's
Mary's there."
Yeah. And holy crap, man. Holy crap.
They go to the dean's. They try to rescue Mary. Dean.
Can we also say they bring Kendall with them
Again?
And then one of the cops, like, they do the dumbest shit. Like the real time thing is just so. It's just like they didn't know how to like edit the fucking movie, because like the cop is like, "All right, Kendall, you're coming with me," and then he's like, "No, wait, you're not coming with me. Why don't you go to Mary's and I'll do this." He's like, "No, that's crazy. You're coming with me." And you're like, you could have just cut out like the entire middle of it.
I know.
It's so weird. But they do go to Mary's.
Dean attacks Kendall with a knife.
And we find out that the dean is actually what he was slipping her has paralyzed her completely. Which is,
She's like, "I can't feel my leg."
And then she ends up not being able to talk.
They have to carry her
And the
off.
dean is just stroking her feet. Which doesn't make any sense to us at this point. but it will with 3 seconds left in the movie. You'll find out everything. But the cops come in, they break down the door. They say, "Hey, this guy's not around. We got to go find him. Kendall, you stay here and walk the paralyzed Mary around."
Yeah.
Worst advice ever. But the cops like checked the house and they're like, "He's not here."
But he's like hiding behind blinds.
He's hiding behind curtains like a cartoon. Like where the body's just behind the curtain.
Again, it's like that scene in Scary Movie where his like feet are hanging out.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And but then Kendall and Dean he tries to attack Kendall, who's walking Mary around going, "You're walking, Mary, you're walking." And Dean comes out. They're fighting for control of the knife.
Dean's about to stab him. Cop comes in.
Blam.
Fantastic shot.
Yeah, right in the fucking head. And then they just start like tampering with evidence. The cops and Kendall, they just start grabbing everything in his house, and they're like, "Look at this!"
They find the old
weird
jigsaw.
They're just touching it. They're just like looking at it, and he's like, "This is really weird."
They're like, "So you still think you want to be a cop?"
This is the funniest thing I have ever. Well, I guess the last scene we talked about was really funny, but this is so fucking funny. He goes, Cop and Kendall are looking at the puzzles, and Kendall's like, "This is so neat that we found these clues." And the cop goes, "Join the force, kid. We're finding out little secrets like that all the time." And he like puts his arm up to like lean against the bookshelf, like cool guy. Bookshelf spins around, and a fucking corpse that's been sewn together.
All the parts that he's been collecting.
The pieces are put together. And falls out and falls on Kendall. And Kendall just screams for like 3 minutes. But it's not even a scream, right? It's like,
but that's not even the fucking ending.
No.
So the guy was obviously he was collecting collecting pieces of his victims and sewing them together, making a human jigsaw. It comes out of the closet, it falls on Kendall. You think the movie should end there. Just screaming. No.
Kendall comes up.
It cuts to another scene where the cop's like, "Are you alright, kid?" And he's like, "Yeah, like, my heart's beating normal again." The fucking human jigsaw comes alive for no reason. It comes alive, reaches his hand up, scratches through Kendall's pants, grabs his dick and his balls, and just rips him the fuck off. For no fucking reason. There's nothing in this movie that suggests anything's paranormal. No. There's no zombies. There's nothing being reanimated.
It is.
Why does
it is fucking crazy.
And that's how they fucking end it. They could have ended it 30 seconds earlier and it would have been acceptable.
Yeah. It's so fucking weird. And not only that.
But not only that, him ripping off the thing ripping off his balls was disgusting. It was so well done.
Dude,
the noise
it was so slow.
It
was so slow. It was so like deliberately scratching through the jeans and into his balls.
Dude, it makes a popping noise. Like just popped it right the fuck off.
It's so crazy. And what really pissed me off though about it was when the corpse falls out, I was like, "Oh, I get the title now." And that's a really cool twist to this character. He's trying to build like the puzzle woman, right? And we find out with 3 seconds left that this character is actually kind of cool. And actually, like, there's a point to these murders. It's not just. It was a letdown. I mean, but at the same time, I'm laughing. I'm enjoying it. I love the kills. I would recommend people watch this because
it's fun.
It's just not a good movie.
I mean, all the scenes that we laughed about while talking about it are worth it to see.
Right.
Like, there's a kung fu fight scene. There's a killer sneaking a chainsaw into an elevator.
Yeah.
There's a corpse coming alive in the last 3 seconds for no reason and castrating a man.
It makes no sense.
Why would you not want to watch that?
You do.
You do.
You want to watch it.
You want to watch that.
You absolutely want to watch it.
Is it a good movie? Fuck no. It's not. But it's
not even close.
It's very, very
not
enjoyable.
even close. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's the end of the movie. So that's it for this week, guys. Really appreciate it again.
2 fun movies.
Thank you, Elliot. You want to know what the next one's going to be?
Oh, yes.
I do have it lined up. The next one is from our friend Amy, who has suggested, she only gave me one movie because she really wants us to watch it. Dr. Giggles.
Oh, fuck. Corbin Burnson?
Dr.
Nice.
Giggles. So Dr. Giggles next week, everyone. Check it out. Report back to summer school next week. And I'm sure it is bad. Sorry, Amy.
It'll be back on our normal track.
Jack on our normal track. But we've got a lot of good suggestions. But I loved it because everyone was like, everyone kind of gave us like some good ones. And then like everyone threw in an awful one. And they're like, well, if they want to do something really bad. Like this guy, JW the Go-Getter, who I love. He's one of our Patreon supporters, obviously. And he submitted Pontypool, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good movie. He did Pontypool, one other like really good movie. Mr. Jones, which is like an independent movie. It's on Netflix. I haven't seen it either, but I'm guessing it's good because it's just off the radar. Like it doesn't look outlandishly bad. And then Ginger Dead Man 2. And I was like, all right, I see what you're doing here. I haven't decided which one of those we'll do. But I don't really want to do Ginger Dead. Is it Ginger Dead Man?
Yes, yeah. And I kind of do.
All right, fine. Well, thank you all for listening. Really appreciate it. If you want to help the show, rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. That's the best way to help us. We appreciate you guys doing that. It's been putting us in the iTunes charts, and that's always a great thrill. So we really appreciate that. You could also, if you want to help us monetarily, if you can use Patreon, patreon.com/IHateHorror, and donate there. At $5, we do some cool extra things for the show. We're trying to do some bonus episodes, things of that nature. What else do we talk about? Oh, facebook.com/IHateHorror, IHateHorror.com. I'm on Twitter at IHateHorrorShow and Instagram at IHateHorror.
I'm on Twitter at Jovi421, Instagram Brugdish1985. Follow me on Snapchat, Horror Show Joe.
And thanks Harley Poe for allowing us to use the song Gorehound
off Pagan Holiday.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's it though, right? We're good to go.
Should be good.
Guys, see you next week. Dr. Giggles. Thank you. Oh, that's not how we end the show.
That's my
We've never ended the show. We've never ended the show like that. For Joe, this is Sean. Stay ready.
Thank you.
Adios.